Music and Arts Festival, May 3rd through the 5th at historic Uptown Yucaipa.
Now here's word about a free homebuyer workshop on Wednesday, April 17th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Yucaipa Business Incubator Center. That's at 34282 Yucaipa Boulevard, corner of 5th Street and Yucaipa Boulevard. Dinner will be provided. There's opportunity prizes and giveaways, but seating is limited. Learn to provide strategies for home buying in 2019. Create your action plan. Learn about credit, mortgage, insurance, and more. Hosted by Elite Financial Credit, Financial 2000, and Joe Amlani, State Farm. RSVP today at 909-570-9048. That's 909-570-9048 or info@elitefinancialcredit.com.
KCAA.
The doctor is in. Welcome to the Psychic Love Doctor Show with host Deborah Lee. Deborah has been practicing, teaching, and perfecting the personal prophecy card reading method for 20 plus years. This life-affirming, highly perceptive reading method has taught Deborah how to zero in on specific problems with relationships, career pursuits, and current roadblocks to success and happiness. This inspiring show will help you never feel helpless in life or love ever again. Now, here's your host, Deborah Lee.
Welcome everyone to the Psychic Love Doctor Show. I am your host. I'm Deborah Lee. I'm also the only living subject matter expert for the personal prophecy card reading method, which is the method I use. Now, those of you who are viewing our show on Facebook Live, we're on the Psychic Love Doctor Show page. You will see that I'm right now holding up an ordinary deck of playing cards. Those of you watching the KCAA podcast will see the same. There is nothing here that is wooey or...
Nothing wooey.
No trickery. And it has nothing to do basically with tarot card readings, angel readings, oracle readings. Oh my goodness. There is a whole spectrum of readings out there. I have nothing but respect for them all. However, I am very attached to personal prophecy, which is a far more literal and, I feel, dynamic way of living your life on a daily basis, where we can pinpoint those areas in your life that require attention, where you need to possibly improve for the future. For instance, while we're sitting right here in the present, we can look down your path toward the future, and we can actually take it a good 10 years out to find out what are your prospects for love, happiness, success, personal fulfillment, spirituality, how to deal with, oh my goodness, career is a big one, love, relationships, marriage, that's another big one, but there's also learning what makes those tick who impact your life. For instance, you've got friends, family, neighbors, co-workers, your own children. We can find out what they're all up to simply by using the personal prophecy method and an ordinary deck of cards. With that having brought you up to speed, I'd like to introduce my adorable, very sexy co-host, Lauren. I get much feedback from our listeners who tell me they find her adorable and that she's really funny. And so, just so you know, there is a reason that we have her on, besides her absolutely stunning good looks.
Oh, well, thank you. So, today I wanted to kind of talk about some of the dating nightmares that are out there. And we were kind of discussing some things earlier about things that have happened to us on dates. Also, by the way, before we get started, the phone number to call in is going to be 909-792-5222. So we're talking about some things. So you're out to dinner. We're talking with our audience member. We're out to dinner. You're sitting. You're having a lovely meal. All of a sudden, your date gets up to go use the restroom. But it takes a while. You're sitting, you're waiting. Julia has a cold today, I think. Or is
That's
that
right.
our...
We are conjuring the spirit of Julia Childs for later in the show. And right now it seems like she's got a wee bit of the nose tickles. So, Julia, blessings to you. Now zip it. All right.
So you're sitting there and it's like 10 minutes, 15 minutes go by. What do you do?
Oh, my goodness. They're gone 15 minutes.
15 minutes, they're out to the restroom. What do we think that they're doing? And what do we do? Do we just sit there?
When do you start to worry, would be my guess.
When is it a serious case of constipation that is interfering with your date? Are they on the phone trying to reconcile with a ex, perhaps?
I would say, just me personally, I don't like, I'm at work all the time. I never like using the restroom like in front of, like not in front of, but like I don't like people knowing I'm using the restroom in almost any situation. So I feel like if I do, like if I'm at a restaurant and I'm out, you know, on a date with somebody, with my husband, I guess, but I'd be like, you know, I don't know. I'd be like, I better hurry up. I don't want them to think anything's wrong.
We all have the normal bodily functions.
We do have.
Are you saying in front of people that you're only mildly acquainted with, you cannot use a restroom?
I don't enjoy it. I'll say that.
I'm not sure we're supposed to enjoy it.
She doesn't like to let people know that she goes to the bathroom.
I think normally I just like to like wrap it up real quick. So if somebody's out there for a long time, I'm like, ooh, what's going on? And I don't think that makes for a very good romantic
You know, a thought struck me. If you're going to go out on a date, can't you two leave the phones in the car?
Yes.
Wouldn't this be like a throwback to the past? Back to the era of like 8-track tapes and whatever else was going on back then. But I'm serious. Do you need those phones on a date?
I think it depends how long you've been with the person. And also if you're like a dork like me and my significant other are, we play games.
From Facebook Live, please, oh boy, to please post your responses if you feel like doing it.
If you're bringing a phone, you're really not that interested. That's all I'm
Right.
gonna say.
He's just not that into you type of thing.
But what if you're in a guild together?
Then you're weirdos.
Well,
The phone
then
could be
you
a
can bring
bill
your
up, too.
wand so you
I
can cast
know.
spells together, but
What if
otherwise
we're-
leave the phone in.
All right.
Why pay for something when you can do that at home? I mean, when
Yeah.
you go out to eat or wherever.
But couples that guild together build together.
Oh boy, okay.
But if you have a phone, you can have a built-in safety call,
Yeah.
babysitter's sick, you got to come home.
All right, I think this would be a really good spot for, who are we going to?
We have Chandrika from Kentucky.
Ooh,
And
that's a new one.
if we lose you, it's a bad network connection. Please hang in there. Get back with us. If you're on Facebook Live, we'll be back. You know, we've got so many fluctuations. I always think and perceptively feel it has to do with atmospheric things,
It's
weather, bad karma.
The spirit of
That's why you
Julia
always blame
Childs.
Mercury.
Well, Mercury tends to go retrograde, which we're supposedly not in that anymore.
No, it's done.
You should blame another planet.
Yes. Excuse me.
Julia Childs is getting dead sick over here. Julia, calm down over there.
Oh, I think I'm cold enough.
All right, let's see if we can go to Chandrika.
No
Or
sneezing
is
in
it
the crab
Chandrika?
cakes, Julia.
How are we smelling it?
Chandrika from Kentucky, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Woo, there she
Hello.
is. So thank you so much for hanging in. We are so glad that you are our first caller. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Well, tell us a little about your situation and what your question is.
Well, I'm more focused on finances in my love life.
You're not on speaker, are you, hon?
Well, I just took it out. Can you hear me now?
There. Everybody, when you call in, it helps us so much better to hear you without being on speaker. So thank you. All right, let's take it from the top, shall we?
Okay, so yeah, so it's basically I wanted more insight on my finances and my love life. I recently just started a business, so I'm a new business owner.
Finances, did you say?
You know, I'm still lonely, so.
Finances and she's lonely.
And you're lonely?
Say it again. I couldn't hear you.
You're breaking up a little bit, Chandrika, but what we heard was you're wanting to know about your finances and that maybe you're also lonely.
Yes.
All right. Well, Deb is going to look into the cards for you and take a look at that. So finances, would you say that you're trying to build? Are you trying to catch up?
Yes, like I was saying, because you said I was breaking up, and what I was explaining is I just started a business.
How is your debt, hon? Do you have a lot of debt?
Yes, I do.
Okay, it's very difficult to dig yourself out, even under the best conditions. One thing that I have practiced in the past concerning debt was using what I've heard called the snowball effect, where you start with the smallest debt you have. For instance, let's say you have a credit card with a $500 credit limit on it, and it's maxed out. You would start there. Then you go to, say, the next debt. Doesn't always have to be a credit card. You start with what's small, and you work your way up, so you can't spread it out. I mean, if you have limited resources financially, it's not like manure. You can't spread it out over the whole garden and expect everything to be fruitful. You start with one little patch, and as you then get that little bit taken care of, you're moving on as a snowball to the next one and the next. Now, just because you paid them off, it doesn't mean to start using them again. That's when I would take if it was credit cards, I would freeze them in the freezer.
Yeah.
Literally in water, so that I couldn't do a impulsive move.
Okay.
And
I just took mine and cut them up.
Or cut them up. They say, though, you shouldn't close them because it's better. I don't know. I'm not a financial whiz here, but I've read that it's better not to close them all. Right. It's better to
use them and pay them.
Use them and pay them, but just little bits.
Credit. Yeah, a little bit here and there. Even if it's a big purchase, as long as you pay it off quickly.
And eventually you will have a nice amount that before you were trying to spread it over Capital One here. You got, what's another one?
Chase.
Yeah, Chase over there, blah, blah.
Or whatever your local bank is.
Sending them the minimum payment is not going to get you anywhere. Right. So do your best to pay one off, then move to the next. Pretty soon when you get to that, say it's going to be a nice big fat bill, then you're going to have all that money that you used to try to, pay Peter to avoid Paul knocking on your door. Now you're able to really get yourself back in step. The other thing that I personally endorse is go to a reputable financial counseling service. Okay. Now, I've done this in the past. My husband was having, throughout his cancer before he passed away, we literally had to take the bulk of it over there because we were drowning, and they will help to bail you out. Okay, what I am perceiving for you is that, yes. Now, first of all, I want to ask you, I do see the picture improving for you. Let me ask you, are you trying to depend on someone else? I see here possibly like for child support or some sort of benefit financially. Are you trying to get that from someone? No. Well, be careful of what you do get involved in. Don't co-sign for anyone, because I'm seeing that neither a borrower nor a lender be is pretty good advice. But there is a situation here of somebody around her that isn't trustworthy, that may come and tug on her for money.
Is it possible one of those scams where they say, give us a little bit of money and we'll help wipe out your debt?
Oh, yeah, you got to stay away from, right. all in all, though, you really have very decent cards. And there is, you have such a beautiful personality that I question why you are so lonely. You know, seriously, you have great charisma. You're a wonderful friend. I'm perceiving that in the past, you have been hurt. People have let you down. And I think that you have somewhat, what would you call it, like she's distanced herself.
You've maybe built a wall up for yourself.
Mm-hmm. So this could be something to work through. You don't have to trust everybody all the time, but try to at least trust you in your own good judgment. And often helping somebody else can really do a lot for us.
Okay.
So what I'd like you to do is start by thinking positively. It's amazing how a positive attitude can really help to change the energy around us. And the other thing I'd like you to do is to call us back for another reading in the very near future, and we will do our best to sort it out. While we're on the air, it's hard to give a lot of time to a particular caller. Right. But I want you to come away from this knowing that everything is going to be okay. I give this a good year. And at the end of that year, you are going to be sitting pretty, honey. Really, I promise you. Now, knowing that, Lauren, gives her a chance to start manifesting.
Yeah.
More positive energy. Rather, sending out to the higher power, to the universe, however you perceive all that is in terms of a source of our life, our spirit. You're sending out saying, I have hope. I believe. I have faith. Boy, I feel like an old-time preacher today, but it's true.
Preacher.
So try that and then call again, and I think we're going to really be able to nail this down for you. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. See, sometimes you can't do everything all in one bunch.
Right. No. Just like the debt.
Well, exactly.
Yep.
And boy, nothing can make you feel like you're in a deeper hole than when you are in debt.
I just paid off 2 credit cards and I got down to like a quarter of what it has been.
Veronica, so glad you shared that.
Mm-hmm.
But excellent.
It took me paying $150, a little bit more than what they tell you, your minimum balance. Don't ever pay your minimum balance. They tell you your minimum balance is $35. Triple that.
You have to, or as much as you can.
Never going to
That's
go
how I get
down.
rich is off interest.
Right.
This is true.
Yeah, but you have to get serious about it too. Don't clear, say if you have a $500 credit card, don't clear half of it and go, oh, well, we can go shopping. No.
Right.
But if you got an emergency, you got an emergency.
True.
I don't actually have them. I cut them up.
That's not good, though. You should have them for emergencies.
I never want to use them because they have such a high APR.
If you got an emergency, I don't care about the APR.
Next up is...
I'll borrow money if I have to.
Oh, Danielle. There she is.
Danielle from Texas. How are you doing?
Hey, how are y'all?
I don't know what we'd do without you.
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing good.
And how is Isaac?
He's doing good. We're doing good.
I'm glad to hear that. So what would be your question for your reading today, my dear?
Let's see what's in the future for us, or, our usual, what we always do.
Our usual. Okay, we'll do that.
She'll have the usual.
Sure we're on track.
Okay. That's the beauty, by the way, of personal prophecy card readings, is you're able to literally get as many readings as you would like to chart your week. If you're going through a really difficult spot, you can use our app, which will tell you at the end of the show where to find it. You can literally give yourself card readings daily. It doesn't have to be, you've had one for the month, now you can't have another. So now I'm going to lay out Danielle's cards, and I'd like to mention to those of you that may be first-timers with us, I use a full 24-card layout. I don't just yank a card, 2 or 3. A lot of folks do it that way for time, but I would rather see the whole layout and then pick out what I feel is intuitively important for them to be given that insight. So, Lauren, I hand it over to you while I lay these cards out.
All right, Danielle. So have you had anything exciting this week? Any fun moments? Any cute moments with you and Isaac?
Yes, me and Isaac, I went to take him once again at his work, so we had another picnic date, for his lunch break, and then we've just been spending quality time together.
Good.
He was just letting me know, he was just, telling me he really cared about me, and just, we've been having good talks.
Well, what he's finding now, go ahead, were you going to say something?
Did you say the talk?
Huh?
Did
the
you
talk?
say the talk?
About what?
You had the talk?
We thought you were saying the talk, talking about getting married. Do you and Isaac watch, do you guys watch TV together?
Yeah, no, I was just saying, we've been having, good conversations. Sorry, that's what I meant.
Oh.
We're having technical issues.
You cannot give us key words and then pull that out from underneath you. We need those key words that need certain things.
And I agree.
I meant, good conversations, deep conversations, and just...
Well, one thing I'm perceiving for you, Danielle, is he's starting to become awfully attached to this very sweet and comfortable life that the two of you are sharing. You know, a lot of times, and I hear men talking very candidly, they will say, you know, she seems like such a wonderful girl, but I'm scared she's going to transform if I put a ring on it. Mm-hmm. Say, and the men in our audience are now nodding on that. And I think that we're being held responsible for something that truly isn't always our fault. Just because there were women that came before us that said to their girlfriends, oh, you just wait. Once I have him married, he will be changing.
Which isn't true.
I will have him so well trained.
Nobody's changing. No. Everything's the same.
You evolve. You don't change. Just go on from there. Okay.
Yes. So what is happening with Isaac is he's starting to really get attached, where he's enjoying this so much. It's so pleasant. It's so lovely. Mm. And that, for him, holds a great deal of comfort and romance for him. So I think you, as I've said before, darling, I really think you've got to keep her here. He worries that another man could come along and take you. But to all men out there, I have to say, you treat a woman right, especially the right woman. Mm-hmm. I don't care. I'm trying to think of somebody who's really hot in the news, a big celebrity. Used to
Jason Momoa.
Okay, it used to be George Clooney, but he's getting too old now, and he's all married up and everything.
Aquaman, or whatever his name is.
Aquaman.
All right. And who's that one you love?
I have a few of them.
Okay.
Ryan Gosling is great.
Well, Danielle, whoever would be your hottie number one that is a celebrity, even that man could come up to you.
The creepy stalker from the new Netflix series, You.
Oh my gosh.
And yes, so I'm just saying that whatever how do I put this? He does not want to lose you, and he's always going to want to treat you right. And that it doesn't get any simpler than that. It really doesn't. Now, when we're talking women, we can have a lot of subterfuge and sabotaging ways, but that's a whole different show, right?
Not me. I am so sweet. There's no subterfuging here. Okay. I'm an angel.
Thanks so much, Danielle. You have a great week to look forward to, and enjoy your man.
We were happy to hear from you.
Yes, we are. Yay, Danielle.
I always appreciate the great advice. It's helped my situation so much.
We love hearing from you.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you. Y'all have a good weekend. Bye.
I think we might have solved the problem. Our speakers were turned up too loud.
They were? Yes. All right.
Okay, so we have them turned down lower. This should help for a lot. And right now, we're going to pause for a station identification.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292FQ Riverside, and K293CF Moreno Valley.
Welcome back to the Psychic Love Doctor Show. I'm Deborah Lee, your host. We have a very special treat for you right now. We have conjured the spirit of the most wonderful cook that I feel has ever lived, and that is Miss Julia Childs. Now, we are going to flip around a little bit so you'll be able to see her prepare a specialty signature dish. All right, here we go.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to see you again. And recently I've been on travels up and down the East Coast. And I just came back from Maryland and the coastal shores of Virginia, where we are. And guess what they showed me tonight, Lauren?
I can't guess.
You can guess, I'm telling you.
Are we going to make crab cakes?
That's right, we're making crab cakes today. So we begin by making the filling first. And I have here a couple of tablespoons of mayonnaise, followed by Dijon mustard. You have to use the Dijon mustard. And then we have Fresno peppers, which you'll find in the grocery store, and red bell peppers, and a little bit of that. And then we have green onion sliced very thinly and smooth.
She's got a big frog in her throat.
Right. We'll add our breadcrumbs, but we don't know how much we need, so we'll add a little bit of that first, and then a little bit of egg as a binder. There's one egg I put in there, and we're going to mix that together. Go ahead and give that a stir there, Lauren, for me, while we get the pan nice and hot. And we're adding our oil. I'm using sunflower oil. If you're following along at home, don't mix it too quickly. All right, we need a little bit of egg. It's really dry looking. All right, and then we have Worcestershire sauce. I don't know how to say it, but it's there. And of course, I forgot the hot sauce, because you always have to have hot sauce. And we add a little bit of that. There we are. And then, of course, we have to season with salt. All right, and now we're adding our crab. And I'm using jumbo lump crab you'll find in the seafood department of your grocery store. But now, Lord, we're going to use very gently because we don't want to break it up. This is very expensive. Right now, with folding action is what we'll use here. For this, just like this here. I should have made some ahead of time, but you know, I was late. There we are. And we'll add a little bit more breadcrumb because you see how wet it is. So it's a little bit more.
Very wet.
Very wet. We don't want it too wet, and we don't want it too dry, so we have to use discretion. And for those at home that are looking, that's what we want our crab cake mix to look like. No! No! Our pan is ready. It's nice and hot. So we'll go in with our hands and you'll grab, let's say, a third of a cup of the crab cake mix. And you'll press them together to form the crab cakes. And you'll fry them. In a pan of moderate heat, medium high, just about. And we'll put that into the... That's a beautiful sound there. You want to make one, Lauren?
Sure.
Go ahead. Get your hands in there. And you know we use our hands because nothing's cleaner than a chef's hands. But we won't know where. We're good at that.
She wasn't a chef.
A lot of people, we won't worry too much about it. She'll eat that one. Good job, and then just place it into a pan. There you are. We'll do 4 at a time. I know we're taking up a lot of time, so we'll hurry up here. And at the end of the show, we'll show you what it looks like. Thank you, Lauren, for joining us. And I'll have the recipe on the Chef On-Call Facebook pages, facebook.com/TheChef-On-Call. Thank you.
Julia, you have quite a tan there. Have you been traveling?
Well, you know, yes. I was on the beaches of Maryland earlier.
Oh, there you go.
Well,
now
there you have it. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Julia.
credentials for that, but I can give you some background information. We are coming back now live on Skype with KCAA Radio. So you'll have to give me a moment as we're doing a question in the meantime as we're solving our technical issues. And this is for a young lady who has not been feeling the best. I'm taking it.
Yes.
And wants to know what the outlook is. And I am doing that. I am laying out a full layout. And I will be ready to address the question in a moment. Anyone that we lost your call, I'm so very sorry. Something took us down. I don't know if it was Julia Child's energy from beyond.
Possibly.
Or if it's just something far more mundane, like we've got crappy equipment.
It could
We
be.
do not have crappy equipment.
It could be the weather.
Could be some rogue
The
planet.
spirit.
Right, a retrograde that
It
we do
could-
not know anything
A
about.
planet we didn't know existed.
Pluto's in retrograde.
Right.
Or it's not a planet.
Could have been Clark Gable.
Ooh,
The
Clark Gable.
issues I'm seeing concerning this woman that you asked about are really more of a mental and emotional nature. I think her health has manifested into ailments, but that realistically it's all more of gaining control over herself emotionally and possibly seeking counseling to sort through some issues which I do feel pertain to a certain man that is figuring.
Yes.
Yes, so there you have it. That would be, I would encourage her to get some professional help.
All right. Well, thank you for that reading, and I'm sure she appreciates it.
Thank you.
Next up, we're going to have, is it Lisa from New York? Yes?
Hello. Hello.
Hello,
Hey,
Lisa.
How are you guys?
Well, we're hanging in there even though we keep having problems. Hopefully our connection will hold now. So please tell us what we can do for you.
I'd like to know why it seems like I'm being stopped every time I go forward. I get, it's that one step forward, two steps back kind of thing. It's like I can move forward, but something's always pulling me back from going in that direction.
All right, we're going to take a good look for you right now. Excuse me. So hang in there. Lauren, maybe you can chat for a moment while I lay out the cards.
Lisa, I'd like to know, what is your biggest goal? What keeps you moving forward?
I guess my stubbornness.
Stubbornness is a good one.
Because
determination, drive, that falls all under stubbornness.
Even though I'm being pulled back because of certain things, it's like I still see that. I see that front picture in front of me. So.
Well, it is important to see that. I think it's always important to really bear in mind. Hold on. Are you still there, Lisa?
Yeah, I'm here.
I think it's just important to remember to keep a goal in mind, to really think about, and even like we were talking about earlier about somebody's debt, I think for just things in general, you want to keep in mind, like, what is one thing that you want to improve? Do you want to improve your health? Do you want to improve your finances? And tackle that starting your day. I think I heard it before somewhere that successful people, you always go after the big fish early in the morning. What's the biggest thing that you have to tackle? Does that make sense?
I don't know. There's so many things that I want to do, but, there's not enough time in the day to do everything.
And you're right. There isn't enough time to do everything, but think of the big tasks. Usually what's most overwhelming for us, paying a big bill or, organizing a closet can even be overwhelming. But you want to get that started early in the morning. What do you see in the cards?
Well, I'm perceiving that you need to become your own best cheerleader. You know, as much as others mean well and have good intentions, they aren't the ones that put on those big girl panties every day that you do. So, and this is also a message coming from me personally, from my own experience. For instance, don't make your plan or your goal too big where it overwhelms you. Do one little piece of it. And I'm getting a nod here from a professional organizer who is in the crowd, and I bet you have some tips on that.
So here, Lisa, my name is Veronica. How are you doing tonight?
I'm okay. And yourself?
I'm good, thank you. So here's what I tell my clients and also myself. I actually make a list. Like you can literally say, get up in the morning, make your bed, down to pay off the car. I mean, those are your biggest lists. And then you want to go and you want to say, I'm going to have 5 things that I know that I will accomplish that day. You can possibly make your bed. You possibly eat breakfast. You know you're probably not going to pay off your car in that day. So you want to make sure that you do things that you are able to accomplish in that day, and then praise yourself for getting those 5 things done.
I agree. Right. And so you don't want to act like you're going to,
save the world in one day.
That's what I was just going to say. Also, remember that even a step backward is a sign of progress.
Right.
So you got to be gentle with yourself.
Exactly. You were exactly what Doug was saying is you are your own, your biggest fan, your biggest cheerleader. And when you are having a bad day, you're like, damn it, I had the worst day ever. I am the worst person in the world. And that's actually the worst thing you could possibly do because other people are probably
so
not saying that to you as well.
Yeah,
so,
it really is undermining of the self.
Right.
And the thing is, be gentle, for goodness sake.
Right.
Sometimes we are going through so much, in terms of stress and what's happening in our lives. There's no reason you can't take a day out.
Right.
Just for you.
Just the fact that you got dressed, you went to the bathroom, you drank a glass of water. Those are things to actually rejoice over and to celebrate over. And whether you got out of the house or didn't get out of the house that day or whatever, as long as you said, here's my 3 goals that I am going to accomplish today, even if you did not accomplish one of those, it's not that big a deal. There's always tomorrow.
And watch out for perfectionism.
Right.
Some of us, for instance, myself, having been a professional writer for a great deal of my life, I used to always look at the computer screen, and this is crippling. To me, before I even touched it, it was perfect. Once I touched it and put just one word, suddenly now it's flawed. And that is really self-defeating to do it like that. So you've got to work on perfectionism. A lot of people think, oh, he or she's just being lazy. A lot of times it isn't laziness. They're just completely paralyzed from perfectionism. Right. So there's a lot of good self-help material out there that you can utilize. A lot of stuff is free that you can even read. So wouldn't hurt to kind of bone up a little bit on that. And another thing is we often fear success.
Right.
So what we'll do is take a step forward or 2 or 3 and then go, oh, got to get back here where it was comfortable.
Right.
So then you're back in the comfort zone, but then you're back where you don't want to be.
Right.
Sometimes I have little tips and tricks that I've used with my clients. One thing is, if something is very difficult to go do, pretend you're someone else. Pretend you're Martha Stewart and put that meal together. And pretend you're Veronica, the star organizer of closets and cabinets. I mean, you don't have to necessarily be the person that you are. You could put that aside for a little bit and be somebody else.
Right.
And that really can help to alleviate the stress. Now, I think she had another question or another area that didn't quite come through. I can't remember, but I wanted to tell you, in all truthfulness, everything is going to turn out okay. A lot of times we just don't believe that. But you know what? I think in a spiritual way for right now, would God really take you this far and say, okay, you're on your own now, Lisa. I'm out. Bye.
I know that's not the problem, but, it just seems like the more you go forward, you get bounced back. And it's not just me, it's not because of me.
It's because of outside influences.
Yeah,
And,
like I was supposed to go to Sedona and do whatever I was supposed to do there because I was being called, but now I can't because of financial, and now I'm taking care of my dad, and then we found out last week that my brother has stage 4 prostate cancer. And
so very sorry. I am these are things beyond your immediate control.
It's like things like that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would look at it this way. The timing was not correct.
Right.
And all of these other things that are impacting your life, your brother, your father, other aspects that I see here, financial issues. When we have roadblocks that are in our path, these are signs that it's not the right time. You never know. You could have gone to Sonoma and an 18-wheeler could have come by and flattened you right on that freeway. We never know why the obstacles are there. And I'm getting nods from my audience.
Yeah.
And that's why I said it's so important to get up in the morning and do something. Because if something huge like that, like not going to Sedona, right? That was a huge deal to you. You weren't able to do it, but if you're upset about it, a lot of times I think we've all experienced small depression, even if we don't have large depression. And not doing anything during the day really can make us feel even more defeated at the end of the day.
And Lisa, you're still going. I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
You're fine.
You're still going to Sedona. It will be within its own best way and time. So you watch and see.
And the people around us, sometimes you have to be careful. Sometimes people around us don't want us to be happy, don't want us to experience something, and we have to find ways to experience life still and experience happiness, even if it's not exactly what we're looking for at that moment.
Right, right.
So just hang in there, have faith. Hope is one of the strongest personal empowerment, I don't know, skills, want to call it a skill, to be hopeful and have faith. Because I don't think it's a gift. Some people think, well, she is so lucky. She has all this ability. No, it's only that person recognizes the power that she controls.
One of the things I look at in my life, so I'm back, Kyle, by the way, is that you have to have faith the size of a mustard seed. And that is the most powerful thing that you'll ever see. You know, a mustard seed will grow in anything. And it's that little bit of, that little tiny bit of faith that can help propel you forward.
And this is a message for everyone. You may have your dream, you may have what you are striving for, and it's as if all of a sudden there's road construction ahead, and they've got all the, they put up all those blocks and what are those pylons, and there's a guy with a sign saying stop, take detour
all over Norfolk.
Right, and the thing is, there is a reason, but a lot of times we can't see it till we're looking backward.
Right.
Yep. Hindsight is always 20/20.
It is. Yep. So, Lisa, thank you so much for calling. You have brought forward some really meaningful things for us to share with everyone tonight. You call again, and we'll do our best to sort this out. Personal prophecy readings are not a one-time experience.
Right. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, and things will get better. Okay, take care.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. And another thing we might want to discuss about giving readings, not everyone is an easy read. I see that in comparison to others today, Lisa is a very complex individual. She has so many inner talents that she hasn't even explored yet, that this can make it seem like many layers on an onion. And then there's somebody else, Danielle, who calls in. That girl is an easy read.
But when you do them that quite often, though, that helps.
It really helps. I build a familiarity.
You have a rapport.
Yes.
Exactly.
Right. Thank you there, cameraman Jim.
Thank you very much.
See, he doesn't just sit there and play with his equipment.
And drink.
Hey. Well, it is Friday on the Psychic Love Doctor show.
Hey.
So, do we have others? Are we... you have... No?
No, we have 10 minutes.
So I do have another anonymous person in the. Oh, we have Peggy from Oklahoma.
Peggy.
Oklahoma.
You with us? Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Peggy. How are you?
I don't know. Maybe you can tell me.
Well, we'll do our very best.
We get to tell her how she's doing tonight? Ooh, that's exciting.
It is a broad question.
What's happening in your little corner of Oklahoma?
Not too much of anything. I've been very, I don't know what you call it. I'm just not. Well, I just need to know if things are going to look up eventually.
Do you feel like you're in a slump?
Very much so.
Are you? How is your relationship going?
Not.
It's not?
I don't have one. No.
Oh, well, we're going to open up these cards and see what kind of messages they have for you.
Are you looking for one?
Well, I thought I had one, but I don't guess I do.
What? Can you tell us what happened?
I really don't know. We've been talking for 3.5 years, and then all of a sudden, kaput.
Did he say something to you?
He just told me, he said he'd been in the hospital, and I said, okay. I said, why haven't you talked to me again? I said, I understand you being sick, been in the hospital. But I said, why haven't you talked to me? And he said, I'm just relaxing. And then he made it plain that he wanted me to move on.
Oh. Well, how long ago was that, may I ask?
Just today.
All right. And he said he'd been in the hospital.
Yes.
And he'd just gotten out recently?
Yes.
Well, I have been doing some research online, especially in light of new insights that are coming through concerning drugs, concerning people that are medicated when they are hospitalized, and new types of reactions that are developing from hospitalization, from drugs, often a lot of, like current memory loss. And to me, it just doesn't ring true that he wants you to find somebody else. I feel he's covering something. And as I look at your cards, it's not another woman. It's simply that he is feeling very much at a loss. This hospitalization, it's as if it stole his mojo. Now, what I often suggest in situations like this, when relationships that are really meaningful begin, it should begin with genuine commitment that we are friends, first, last, and always. And if this man means to you as much as I believe he does, I think it wouldn't hurt to not stalk him and not harass him, but to just occasionally, what do you think, Lauren? Just occasionally pop in and say, hi, how are you? I miss you.
Yeah, just let him know that your concern isn't, over the relationship, but I think concern in him as an individual, and maybe being ill, there's a lot of fears,
Yes.
Being ill and being in a relationship is really difficult. You fear, are you going to be a burden on somebody, and he probably is worried about that. And I think you've called in before, am I correct?
Yes.
Yes. So, and I would say I would try not to fear too much right now, and I would say, hopefully, do you know what he was hospitalized for?
He said the flu.
The flu?
Well, and like I say, for instance, we had a relative who was she was up in years though, but anyway, they had her in the hospital for an easily managed condition. They had her on different medications that literally had this darling little old lady cussing like a sailor. She hated everybody. She, damned everybody to hell. And she was the sweetest little thing that this is a woman that wouldn't say a bad word if there was a gun to her head, but she was cussing like a sailor.
Yeah.
F you this and SOB over there. So I just think we need to give him a little bit of time here.
I think that what bothered me so bad, tomorrow's my birthday.
Oh, well, this is up to you, but right away it came on my spirit. You could send him a message and just say it's my birthday, and it puts sunshine in my heart to send you a message and say how much I appreciate you in my life. What a gift you are. And leave it there.
Yeah.
In other words, you're punting.
Mm-hmm.
And, football enthusiast, when you punt, what are you doing? Giving the ball away?
Yeah, you realize that currently it's not a good situation. It's time to get the ball back and put your other players on the field and see if you can do better.
Right. So wouldn't you say that a little bit of a punt is in order?
Punts are never bad.
No.
And then he gets to see your own beautiful spirit. Because, the best relationships are often not going to run smooth. We're going to be tested by a lot.
I was going to ask, in the past, you said 3.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Has there ever been a similar situation that's arisen?
No.
No? Okay.
So I would say give him a chance here. Let the man get back on his feet. And him telling you, find somebody else, that can often just be fear. Very good. We've got a smart audience here tonight. Fear and them thinking the winning move now is not to play.
Right.
Why would she want him? He's, thinking I'm all messed up inside, and, he doesn't realize you love him so much you'd put him in a little basket and take him with you.
Right.
So I think we should practice a little bit of unconditional love here. And Peggy, you need to call us again. We'll check up on your situation, but we're running short on time here. And we're going to have to dash. And
happy birthday.
Yes, definitely. Yay.
I love you. I love y'all.
All right. Thank you. Take care, honey. And to all the rest of you, wow, thanks for bearing with us. This was a very strange night, and hopefully the powers that be will cooperate next week. We're going to have to sage all the equipment, and, we're going to have to get some eye of newt and hair of dog.
Hair of dog. I like that.
But anyway, I want to say to all of you, thank you so much. We enjoy you. Please don't hesitate to call in the future. I promise you, nobody's going to recognize you. You can even give us a false name if you like. The cards will still be the same. Right. So please, we're here Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And I wanted to remind you, we have an app for Android phones. Right now we're working on the iPhone. They went to a new operating system, and our app went poof for iPhones. But get it on. It's called Psychic Love Doctor. It's in your little app store. It's free of charge. Another thing is you can go to my website, psychiclovedoctor.com. Nice little workaround. Go to where it says free reading. It's the same app. Put a bookmark on your phone. Voila, you've got the app. So with that, I want to thank Lauren and Julia. We send you back to the other side, and we'll conjure you again.
She comes bearing gifts.
Yes, well, we'll conjure her again.
She already sent Julia back, so now I'm just a guy in lipstick and a wig. But here we are. That's the finished crab cake there.
Looks beautiful.
Take
care, everybody. We love you. Bye-bye to all.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
Attention business